It's been nearly 6 months since Officer Ryan Copeland died in the line of duty.
The McFarland canine officer was driving on County Road N near Albion on his way to pick up his canine partner, Boris, when a driver crossed the center line and then hit Copeland's squad car.
For the first time, we're hearing from his widow, Amanda. Our Dannika Lewis sat down with her about the day he died.
I knew in my heart what had happened.
He was a man meant to serve, starting overseas, then at home.
It was only fitting that he went into the police work afterwards because he liked helping out people and just having that brotherhood.
If he wasn't behind a badge, Ryan Copeland was on a golf course or hunting.
He had just come home the night before from hunting before everything happened. It was any other day. Woke up, went to work, and yeah, said goodbye, and that was the last time I talked to him.
And Dannika joins us this morning. So what is going on this weekend?
A lot in D.C. So this morning, the new canine officer, Boris's new canine officer, Officer Jeremy Job, as well as McFarland's chief and a lot of the officers, they are going to D.C. to add Officer Copeland's name to the National Memorial, something really monumental for them. His name will then be added to the State Memorial next week. But it's a big trip for them. I mean, it's not every year, thank goodness, that you go to add a name of someone you know.
What was the impression you got from speaking with Amanda?
Some of my favorite parts that we hadn't known about Officer Copeland yet were the personal things, how he was in everyday life. And I learned that if he wasn't behind a badge doing his job, which he absolutely loved doing, he was on a golf course or he was hunting. That's what she said. His family's place up in Osseo was one of his favorite places in the world. And they would plan their vacations when they weren't in Wisconsin around hunting season. That's what he loved. He also loved Boris and everything that came with that job. He was a Green Beret in the military, served multiple deployments to Afghanistan, to the Philippines. And to get that call, she actually didn't even get a call that day. It was Chief Shervin and another officer showing up at her work. And she knew in her heart what had happened. That line to me from her was just, and she's able to smile through it now. She knows Ryan would have wanted her to do that. Yeah. But I think it took a while.
What do you think it was? I mean, we hadn't heard from her at all. And then what do you think got her to come out?
I think it was time. Time heals a little bit, and I think she explained to me there are good days and bad days. We're talking about a young couple that was going to start a family here. Their families are in Janesville, and they had settled down in Edgerton at the time, and this car crash happened 3 miles away from where they lived. She had to get out of that house for obvious reasons. So, you know, I think just to a degree you can process what happened, and but it never gets easier. And I learned that too. I spoke with Boris's new canine handler, and he said the same thing. You know, Ryan is brought up at the department every single day. And it's, you know, usually happy. You talk about him being goofy and Boris loving him, but
Clearly he's made an impact.
Yeah.
Clearly.
not only with people that were close to him, but one of my favorite stories that we have a story tonight, a kind of more in-depth story. One of the ones I wasn't able to add from Amanda was one about an old lady coming to his visitation. And she's roaming around. It's pretty obvious she doesn't know anybody. 80s, 90s, right? And they eventually go over to her and say, you know, we don't know you. How did you know Ryan? Oh, I only met him once. Okay, what happened? Well, I was looking for the DMV, and instead of just giving me directions, he insisted that I follow him there. And that left an impact on her and her life. And that's just the kind of guy Ryan was, doing those little things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
You'll have more tonight.
More tonight at 10. You'll get to see Boris, which is always fun. He's doing great. He's a 3-year-old crazy pup. He's full of energy still, and he loves to work. That was a very hard decision for them to keep him at work, but he loves it. So.
All right. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
This morning. We appreciate it.
I appreciate telling the story.